the baptism of the smallest member of the ultra-right Ku Klux Klan organization, USA, 1920. The final moments of a kamikaze dive on the aircraft carrier Lexington, 1944. Edward Smith, the captain of the Titanic. The voyage on the Titanic was supposed to be Smith's last before retirement. Native chief discussing Garrison Dam construction with officers, North Dakota, 1946. A family in the slums of Toronto, 1914. The forced relocation of Native American tribes in the late 19th century, a tragic consequence of U.S. government policy. A boy reading in a London bookstore after an air raid, 1940. For over 10,000 years, women of the Ainu people tattooed Joker-like smiles around their lips. It was believed necessary for marriage and peace in the afterlife. The painful ritual involved cutting the skin with a knife and filling the wounds with soot. Two girls on the streets of West Germany talked to their grandparents through a window in a house in the East Zone, separated by a barbed wire barricade, August 14, 1961. Unlicensed prostitutes caught by the police at the famous fair, Russia, 1900s. Actress Anita Ekberg walked out with a bow to the paparazzi because they were following her all night, 1960. John Minnick, the heaviest person in medical history. Astonishingly, he found a slim girlfriend, Jeanette. The young couple quickly fell in love and married, despite the 300-pound weight difference between them. Hindu Mahant Amar Pardiji has kept his right arm raised since 1973. He has followers who worship him and replicate his feat. When asked about his health at 70, playwright Bernard Shaw complained that doctors kept predicting his death because he didn't eat meat. At 90, he quipped, "I'm doing fine. All those doctors who said I couldn't survive without meat are dead now. In 2002, in Mecca, 15 girls died in a school fire. The religious police prevented firefighters from saving students because they were without traditional dress, niqab and abaya, which led to the high number of casualties. Before aerial photography was invented, photography was done by all possible means, 1952. British magician Kuda Bux demonstrates his ability to see with his eyes closed. England, 1937. Riots, 1960, Tokyo. In those years, Japan witnessed mass student group protests. The main demand was the closure of U.S. military bases. In the early 60s, a mugger in Los Angeles was targeting elderly women. The police set a trap. Officers dressed up as grandmothers and patrolled the streets. The plan worked. The criminal was quickly caught. Jewish women before execution in occupied Latvia, December 1941. Forget about spy gadgets. In the 1960s, the CIA launched Operation Acoustic Cat. The plan was to train cats to eavesdrop on Russian conversations. The first agent cat, with a microphone in its ear, a transmitter in its collar, and an antenna implanted in its tail, was sent to position but tragically died under the wheels of a taxi. The horror of knowing you're about to die was the final reality for Auschwitz victims. Deceived into entering what they thought were showers, they were trapped in gas chambers. This photo shows the scratch marks from their nails, a testament to their final horrifying realization as they died. German concentration camp, c. 1940. A dark chapter in Louisiana history. Under an 1848 law, children born to incarcerated black women became property of the state. Mothers raised them in prison until age 10, after which the state sold the children through newspaper ads. Vin Mariani, a popular 19th century drink called the favorite wine of celebrities such as Alexander Dumas, Conan Doyle, Robert Stevenson, Jules Verne, and even Queen Victoria. It contained cocaine and was banned in 1915. Female firefighters wash the blood of those killed in a German artillery attack from the asphalt, USSR, 1943. Chinese laborers carrying tea bales, 1917. In 1942, educator Janusz Korczak had a chance to escape but chose to accompany 200 orphans to the Treblinka gas chamber instead. His reasoning was heartbreakingly simple. You don't leave a sick child alone, and here there are 200. Disabled activists leave their wheelchairs and crawl up the 83 steps of the U.S. Capitol demanding the passage of disability rights legislation, March 12, 1990. American military operation Rolling Thunder. U.S. pilots flew 304,000 combat missions, dropping nearly 8 million tons of bombs on Vietnam. St. Nicholas Parade in Austria. St. Nicholas rides a white horse while Krampuses warn children to behave. Los Angeles police conducting a special operation to capture a criminal who killed an elderly woman for her wallet, 1960. The active train designed in the USSR in the 70s. Growth increasing exercise machine, 1931 photo. A fisherman's find. There used to be worm vending machines, USA, 1957. A German soldier mocking a Jew, 1941. Students at Augustana College react to the not guilty verdict of O.J. Simpson's murder trial, October 3, 1995. Strike of Working Children, USA, 1902. Winner of Britain's Most Feared Woman Award, 1883. A rally in support of Hitler's political ideas. Photo from 1937. This rally is considered one of the largest in history. 8 years later, in 1945, many participants would claim they never supported Hitler. In 1996, American Larry Ruttman threw a boomerang that returned and hit him in the head. Larry sued himself for damages totaling $300,000 and won the case. The world's first flying man, Otto Lilienthal. He died in 1896 when his glider crashed from a height of 15 meters. His last words before death were, "Sacrifices are inevitable." In Sacho Y. Morrison shelters. Bed cages for those who couldn't get to a bomb shelter. They saved many lives during the destruction of homes, Great Britain. With nylon stockings scarce, women would paint their legs so it looked like stockings, 1940s. How witnesses used to testify against the mafia, 1969. Just freed prisoners from a Nazi camp queuing for food. A woman mourns the tragedy of July 3, 1988, when the U.S. Navy shot down an Iranian passenger plane with 290 civilians, including 66 children. Berlin residents search for food in the ruins, 1945. Special anti-gas cribs for infants, England, 1942. Left. Mick Jagger after marrying Bianca Perez Mora Macias, 1971. Right. Jagger running from court during their divorce, 1979. All of Mahatma Gandhi's possessions after his death, India, 1948. Heads of 7 major U.S. tobacco companies testify under oath that nicotine is not addictive, 1994. A 13-year-old boy from the Hitler Youth taken prisoner, 1945. Horse-drawn combine harvester. Leader of the Aum Shinrikyo sect greets the mayor of Moscow at the opening of a sect branch, Russia, 1992. 3 years later, members of this sect carried out a terrorist attack in the Tokyo subway. Marie Curie, the first woman to win the Nobel Prize in her laboratory in Paris, 1912. An emotional girl holds a bundle of grass where Ringo Starr once walked at Los Angeles Airport, USA, 1964. Preparation for mass executions at Babi Yar. Between 1941 and 1943, it is estimated that the Nazis executed between 70,000 and 200,000 people here. Jane Mansfield poses with the winner of the Miss Hollywood contest, 1957. A photo of the seemingly kind family man Heinrich Himmler with his family from his photo album, but he was a Nazi, 1936. The armored Mercedes-Benz of the president of Ingushetia after an assassination attempt by the Russians, 2005. Taken in 1900 in Évreux, France. School children are seen drinking beer, wine, or cider. Until 1956, these drinks were considered healthy and were actually part of school dietary norms. People trying to board a plane during the evacuation of American troops, South Vietnam, 1975. After World War I, Britain faced a shortage of horses, and an elephant named Lizzie helped farmers plow fields and pull carts, 1919. In the summer of 2009, over 20,000 dogs were killed in the Chinese province of Shanxi by government order. Earlier, in 1983, a special decree was passed in Beijing to destroy all domestic animals, as they polluted the environment. Even earlier, domestic cats and dogs were declared symbols of uselessness and were destroyed. A Bosnian soldier near a destroyed house where 69 people, including his family, perished. Yugoslavian War, 1995. The Great Depression of the 1930s put millions of Americans out of work. Many competitors entered grueling dance marathons, sometimes dancing for weeks or months without rest, hoping to win money or secure food and lodging. Gadget to hide facial expressions while playing poker, 1937. Henry Ford with the first car of his own production, 1896. The knock-upper, human alarm clock. This profession existed in England and Ireland during the Industrial Revolution until the 1920s. A severe natural disaster in Brazil in 2009, killing over 600 people. A dog named Leo stayed at his owner's grave for days. In 1907, around 1,000 women from the Baltics arrived in New York in search of husbands, inspired by rumors of a woman shortage in America. They were met by interested young men on the pier. The escort of a black man accused of raping a white woman, 1941. A procedure for removing freckles using dry ice, 1930s. Beauty treatments of the past were often painful and unsafe. Rome, 1964. This is a local lost and found office. On the shelves, lost umbrellas. It's very interesting how the owner can recognize their umbrella in such abundance. The Nushu alphabet, invented by women in a province of southern China for communication among themselves, as they were denied access even to primary education. It was used until 1912. This photo is a unique piece of history. It shows Geert Adriaens Boomgaard, the last living man who fought for French Emperor Napoleon Bonaparte. Geert was born in 1788 and died in 1899 at the age of 110. Conjoined twins Pip and Flip, popular circus performers, 1923. In 1948, a local chief of the Mandan, Arikara, and Hidatsa tribes in North Dakota weeps as he is forced to sign a treaty to cede fertile lands in the Missouri River Plain, the homeland of his people, under the threat of genocide. Weighing the Soul, USA, 1907. American biologist and physician Duncan McDougall proved the existence of the soul by weighing a person before and after death. It turned out that the soul weighs 21 grams. U.S. Air Force planes fly over burning Kuwaiti oil wells, 1991. The gaze of an emaciated American soldier liberated from a German prisoner of war camp, Limburg, Germany, 1945. Two families of workers from a confectionery factory rent a corner in a room, Russia, 1923. Military dogs during World War I in sentry duty, 1916. A bicycle corps of the Netherlands Army on the eve of the German invasion in 1940. Uzbek schoolgirls during a math lesson, Tashkent, Turkestan, Soviet Republic, 1921. A woman's wild reaction to Mardi Gras participants in New Orleans, 1980s. 18-year-old Keisha Thomas protects a fallen man suspected of having ties to the Ku Klux Klan from an enraged crowd of protesters. Michigan, USA, 1996. Even with a lawnmower in line, the fuel crisis in the USA, 1973. California, 1890s, the immense stump of a giant sequoia remaining after the tree was cut down to manufacture a huge table for a wealthy American businessman. White cafe-goers cruelly cover a black girl and two of her supporters with flour and drinks for daring to sit at the counter in defiance of old racist traditions, 1963. Days after the coup led by Augusto Pinochet in Chile with U.S. support, there was a mass burning of Marxist books. Santiago, 1973. The scale of repression in the USSR knew no bounds. In 1938, 502 people were executed in one day, including 3 cleaners. 3 poor elderly women were declared enemies of the people. Medical staff at a psychiatric clinic practice techniques for catching violent lunatics, 1903. The Röntgen, the beginning of the era of deception, a demonstration of inflatable bras, 1952. Palestinians with an olive branch try to start a conversation with Israeli border guards, West Bank, 1991. In Soviet Russia, some prisoners, fearing for their lives, would tattoo images of Stalin on their chest or other parts of their body because guards were not allowed to shoot at images of their national leaders. Responsibility for their work. Testing a bridge over the Ob River, engineers and builders stand under the bridge, Russian Empire, 1893. Wenceslao Miguel. A prisoner during the Mexican Revolution, sentenced to death by firing squad, Miguel was shot 9 times, all hitting their mark, but he survived, escaped, and lived for many more years. This is a warning from a Ku Klux Klan member to African American residents of a Miami neighborhood who were expected to participate in the elections, May 1939. An aerial photograph of a field where German soldiers held Soviet POWs near Kharkov, 1942. If this video brought a smile or maybe even some anger, share your opinion in the comments. Stay locked in for the upcoming part. Remember to smash that like button and subscribe for more. Goodbye.